Hello, this is Super Cool. Time for another Super Cool Reviews. Well, it's time for another theme month, and for this theme month, we're gonna be stretching out to 3 months. From January to March, I'll be reviewing every single Kingdom Hearts game that's come out since last year. Here, keep in mind, sometimes maybe I probably won't get through every single game, or probably put a couple of games and put them together in one video, but no, anyway. Let's start off this month with the very first Kingdom Hearts game. Hey, wait, and here's how I got into the franchise. I remember looking up on YouTube during one Halloween, and when I first saw the thumbnail, I was like, what? What is this? Donald and Goofy with some weird anime boy going to Disney movies fighting some shadow monsters? Come on. But as time went on and the years went on, I suddenly grew into the fan base, and when I finally first played the game, I was like, wow, this is really good. How come I never grew up with this? That's my thought of this game. It's really good. The plot is we follow a young boy named Sora, played by Haley Joel Osment. No, wait, voiced by Haley Joel Osment. He mostly spends his times on his home, Destiny Island. It's going to mysterious caves, he's having races, playing with his friends, specifically his two friends, Riku, voiced by David Gallagher, and Kairi, voiced by Hayden Patricia. They're both excited because they're gonna set sail one day and visit other worlds, but disaster strikes when a storm hits the island, separating our hero from his friends. He winds up in a mysterious town known as Traverse Town, where he's greeted by other Final Fantasy characters. And yeah, Final Fantasy is in this game since, Square Enix, stuff. And there he also meets with Donald and Goofy. And yeah, you're not hallucinating. Apparently, they're in this game universe, they're both knights to Mickey, who is king, and they need to look for him and search for the key, quote unquote. Oh, and speaking of which, Sora also has a key, known as the Keyblade, a key-shaped sword that defeats the monsters known as the Heartless. His monsters created from people's hearts if they're lost, and if they're consumed by darkness, and yeah, it gets so. Sora, Donald, and Goofy must go to various worlds, aka Disney movie worlds, to stop the Heartless and stop the main baddie, Ansem, voiced by Billy Zane, along with Maleficent and a couple of other Disney villains. And there's lots of talk about light and darkness, and yeah, that's basically the plot. Okay, let's start off with cons on the... No, actually, the pros. First off, the graphics. The graphics are so good in this game. Hey, especially for 2002, it looks damn impressive. Ironically, this kind of looks a lot better than most modern games because... And yeah, at times the expressions can look a little, how should I say, dull, especially during cutscenes where they're just mostly moving their mouth up and down and showing no other emotion. But it's still pretty good. The gameplay is really good as well, while mixing with both combat and RPG. At times it can get tedious, especially in some specific parts, but it's still pretty good. What I also like, the plot. Because it's pretty simple. Just a boy trying to find your friends and start the Heartless and teaming up with Donald and Goofy. It's pretty simple. This was before it got complicated and before Nomura just wrote as he went along. I also think the voice cast is pretty good. And especially Billy Zane as Ansem. He will later be voiced by Richard Epcar, but at the time, Billy Zane did an excellent job. I'm surprised he didn't do any other Disney movies after this, or why Square didn't bring him back after this. I also love Disney villains and their boss fights because, you got a bunch of villains. You got Maleficent, Oogie Boogie, Clayton, and Captain Hook, Jafar, Ursula, the list goes on, and also Hades. And I also like the music. The music, in my opinion, is the best part of these games because it has sort of a fantasy slash goofy Disney slash cinematic type of feel, and it's just so catchy, and you just can't get it out of your head. And if I do have a couple cons, that being some parts of the gameplay, and that being that Atlantica still sucks. Yeah, I just getting this out now. Atlantica sucks, people. Since underwater combat, not my thing. And also, in my personal opinion, some of the bosses, well, more specifically, some of the fights drag on very long. Specifically, in my opinion, it's in the last world where after you defeat this mammoth Heartless, you have to beat a bunch of other Heartless without dying. Otherwise, you have to go back, because if you do die, you go back to where you start. You have to repeat this cycle over again, and there's no save file until you beat this fight. And it drags on too long. I swear it took me a week to finish it. Anyway, this game is also known for lots of talks about light and darkness, also a lot of slow-mo, which it can work for a PlayStation 2 game. And it's also known for mysterious, cryptic boss fights and secret reports that don't play into much part until sequels or spin-offs later. And specifically, the secret endings, which at the time, Nomura probably didn't have a plan, but he just wanted to show the engine, I think. But overall, I really love this game. I give Kingdom Hearts an 83 out of 100. This is Super Cool signing off. Bye.